Good morning, my brothers and sisters. Welcome to episode number 177 in the book of Genesis. We're going to read half of Genesis chapter 46 today. We're moving on from forgiving the unrepentant and kissing your killers that we did yesterday. We shared the Rwandan story. And today we're going to talk about Jacob going all in. He's going to bet everything he has. He's going to push all his chips forward into Egypt, which is so interesting. So listen into this. So he's been invited to Egypt by Joseph and the brothers. Here it is, 46, chapter 1. So Israel took his journey with all that he had and came to Beersheba, which is still in Israel, and offered sacrifices to God of his father Isaac. And God spoke to Israel in visions, plural, of the night, and said, Jacob, Jacob. And he said, Jacob responds and says, Here I am. Then he said, I am God, the God of your father. Do not be afraid to go down to Egypt, for there I will make you into a great nation. I myself will go down with you to Egypt, and I will also bring you up again. And Joseph's hand shall close your eyes. So there he's referring to his death. So first of all, Beersheba. So when you talk about Israel, you talk about from Dan in the north to the Beersheba in the south. It's like saying from east to west. It's the last big city in southern Israel. And so he's heading south. He's in the last city of Abraham, and he takes everything. He takes it all, and he takes it for how long? For all time, because he's going to die in Egypt. Of interest, he's called both Jacob and Israel in this, so he is kind of bearing both of those names. This all happens with an assurance from the Lord in a vision of the night, and God reveals like who I am. I am personal, and I'm going to do this with you, which is so encouraging. And then he tells Jacob what you should do and shouldn't do. You shouldn't be afraid. I suppose there's lots to be afraid of, but with the Lord, there's nothing to be afraid of. And he promises, I am going to make you a great nation. So where is the Lord? He says, I'm going to go down with you. I'm going to go down to Egypt, and I'm going to go up with you. Now, how is Jacob going to go up? He's going to go up as an embalmed cadaver and be buried in Israel. So as far as Jacob knows, Israel knows, this is a one-way trip. So in the Old Testament, this is kind of always a trick question, is where is God? It's an easier question in the New Testament because he's in the hearts of all of his believers. But where is God in the Old Testament? Well, in 1875 BC, God being with Joseph and God being with Jacob, God is mostly located in Egypt, which is kind of interesting. So how is this thing going to end? Jacob has not seen him for 20 years. He thought he was dead for all 20 years of that, except for the last couple of days. He says that I'm going to be with you until the end. How this is going to end? It's going to end with Jacob's death. So he's going to bring him up as a cadaver, embalmed, Egyptianly embalmed, and heading to Canaan. So I'm going to bring all of you guys, and the second idea with that is I'm going to bring you all out of Egypt with the Exodus. That's with Moses in to come. So God is looking with an individual eye, and he's looking also to a corporate eye. So what does Jacob go in with? He goes in with everything. He bets it all, his time, his talent, his treasure. He has every chip on the table. He is going all in. Okay, so then the next part I'll just summarize. This is starting in verse 5. Jacob sets out from Beersheba. He carries the sons and the little ones. So he's got children and he's got grandchildren in this list, possibly even some great-grandchildren. Reuben goes his firstborn, Simeon, Levi, Judah. One of Judah's sons is Perez. He's specifically mentioned. Why? Because he's the one that Christ comes from the lineage. Issachar, Zebulun, Mentions some daughters. Dino, you remember her? She was the one that was raped. And Gad and Asher, this, Dan, and at the end, in verse 26 and 27, all the persons belonging to Jacob who came to Egypt, who were his own descendants, not including Jacob's sons' wives, so he excludes the daughters-in-law, there were 66 persons in all. And the sons of Joseph who were born to him in Egypt were 2. And all the persons of the house of Jacob who came into Egypt were 70. So of interest, the nation of Israel, you could fit on 1.5 busloads. So in conclusion, Jacob goes all in. Jacob goes all in during the 4th quarter of his life. Every dollar he has, every person he has, he brings his wholeheartedness to this. You can't say that Jacob had a divided heart at this point in his life. He's seen his family through difficult times: murder, prostitutes, rape, betrayal, slavery, famine. And he's following the calling and the presence of God no matter where it goes, even if it goes to Egypt. So if you follow the heart of God, you may end up in Egypt, but you're still going to be with God. So from this genealogy and accounting, the Lord knows those who are his. I think Jacob is a good example of leading and staying faithful for every minute of your life until they fill your veins with Egyptian or whatever brand embalming fluid. This makes me think of one of my favorite verses in Philippians chapter 3, verse 9, where at the end of your life, be found in him. And Jacob is going to be found in the Lord, even though that's going to be in Egypt. So the Lord, we have to finish with the Lord's promise, which is, I am. So the Lord is real, he is active, and I am with you. And that is who Jacob goes all in for, and who we should go all in with all our chips. So go all in today with the Lord. Thanks for listening.